All right, so get this. We're diving into Elon Musk going undercover at a Tesla dealership.
Undercover?
Yeah, undercover.
Yeah.
Like, not for a publicity stunt, though.
How?
To really, like, get a feel for what customers and employees are actually experiencing.
All right.
We've got all sorts of sources on this article, internal memos, you name it. And what I think is so interesting is that Musk, this guy who, like, lives and breathes data, decided to get up close and personal to figure out what was really going on.
I think that's a really good point because it suggests that he sensed this gap between the data he's used to and the human side of Tesla.
Yeah.
So he's known for, big ideas and grand pronouncements.
Right.
But this undercover mission seems to indicate he's looking for something more, something he can't find in spreadsheets.
Exactly. So the setting for all this is Tesla Irvine.
Okay.
Pretty standard dealership, Southern California.
Right.
Good spot to get a diverse mix of customer opinions.
Yeah.
And Musk goes full method actor here, transforms himself into Eli Matson.
Eli Matt.
Ditches the, billionaire look for khakis.
Right.
Simple white shirt glasses.
Wow.
He wants to blend in, be a fly on the wall.
And it works.
It does.
He's invisible.
Yeah.
For once, just listening to the heartbeat of this community he's created.
Yeah, and early on in this experiment, he sees the full spectrum. You got those customers completely wowed by Tesla's tech, the design, the whole sustainability aspect.
Yeah.
But then others start voicing these frustrations,
Yeah,
like delays and updates, feeling like they're not getting enough support.
Interesting.
Like, are they really living up to the hype?
And this is where I think those cracks in Tesla's polished image start to show.
Yeah.
These aren't just data points for Musk anymore. These are real people with real issues.
Yeah.
And seeing them firsthand has to be impactful.
Oh, it gets even more real. There's a story about a middle-aged guy who's been a Tesla owner since the early days. A real believer. But now he's frustrated. Features he depended on are vanishing with software updates. Repairs are expensive. And he's feeling like he doesn't really have control over a car that he owns.
That brings up a really important question about ownership in this age of software-defined vehicles.
Yeah.
It's not just about the physical car anymore.
Right.
It's about the digital experience. Updates changes the potential for things to shift without the customer's consent.
Yeah.
That's a whole new layer of complexity.
Totally. Then there's this elderly couple who come in.
Okay.
They're all about Tesla's mission, clean energy, the whole package.
Right.
But they're on a fixed income. And even the most basic Tesla is just out of reach.
Wow.
It's kind of ironic. A company aiming to change the world, but potentially out of reach for the people who could benefit from it most.
Right, and that highlights the tension between Tesla's goals and the reality of economic inequality.
Yeah.
For many, sustainability, at least in this form, is still a luxury.
It is. Then enters Samantha, a Tesla technician who comes by the dealership, and she becomes this crucial source of inside information, giving Eli the unfiltered employee perspective.
What makes Samantha's role so important is that she bridges the gap between the corporate vision and the day-to-day reality for both customers and employees.
Yeah.
She's seeing both sides of the coin.
Exactly. She tells Eli that while plenty of customers love their Teslas, the unhappy ones are really vocal. Repair costs are a huge pain point, and sometimes warranty issues just get really messy.
Oh, wow.
She even mentions this guy who drove across 3 states to get a sensor fixed because he felt completely abandoned by Tesla's support system.
That story just underlines the importance of trust.
Totally.
Tesla's reputation is built on innovation, but they're missing the mark on some of the basic elements of customer care.
Yeah.
They're not just selling a car.
Right.
They're selling a relationship, a promise.
Yeah.
And right now, for some, that promise feels broken.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. We meet Carla, a single mom working multiple jobs. Her old car is barely hanging on. She needs reliable transportation, and she needs it now.
Carla represents the very people Tesla says they want to empower.
Yeah.
Those working towards a better future, those looking for solutions that support a more sustainable lifestyle.
Exactly. She walks in with this meticulously organized folder, pay stubs, a detailed budget.
Wow.
And even a handwritten note explaining her situation.
A handwritten note?
Yeah. She wants a Tesla. She believes in what they stand for. But even their most affordable model is a stretch.
You can almost feel the weight of Carla's story, even through the written accounts.
Yeah.
For Musk, this isn't about numbers anymore.
Right.
It's about a real person with real struggles. It's about a company that, despite its ambitions, isn't quite living up to its full potential.
And for Eli, it's a turning point.
Yeah.
A realization that Tesla's success has a human cost. That night, he stays up late, his notepad filled with ideas, potential solutions. His focus shifts away from tech specs and production goals towards a more human-centered approach.
This is where we see the innovator in Musk, wrestling with the leader in Musk.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to understand that real disruption isn't just about groundbreaking technology.
Yeah.
It's about removing obstacles, making change accessible, and building a future that includes everyone.
This leads to some pretty radical ideas, but we'll dive into those in part 2.
So we left off with Eli Matson having a light bulb moment.
Yeah, like seeing how Tesla's reality wasn't quite matching up with its grand vision.
Right, and he's up all night with pages of notes.
Oh, yeah.
Just ideas swirling around, triggered by all these conversations.
It's like this whole new side of the company.
And what's really interesting is that these solutions he's sketching out aren't about pushing technology even further.
Oh, really?
They're about empathy, making things accessible, and closing the gap between what Tesla aspires to be and what people can actually afford.
Okay, so spill the beans. What kind of ideas is Eli coming up with?
Well, first up, affordable models, and not just stripped-down versions of existing cars, but vehicles designed from the ground up with affordability in mind.
Like a Tesla version of a people's car.
Exactly. And that's huge because Tesla's always been about high-end performance and luxury.
Yeah.
But this sounds like acknowledging that sustainability shouldn't be exclusive.
Right, it shouldn't cost a fortune to care about the planet.
Exactly. He's also looking at completely overhauling customer support.
Like all those complaints about delays and lack of communication.
Eli envisions a more localized, more responsive system that focuses on building trust, not just processing cases.
So like being able to talk to an actual human.
It's more than just having people answer phones.
Right.
It's about giving local service centers the power to make decisions,
Okay.
to streamline repairs and address customer concerns before they become major problems.
That makes a lot of sense. And what about the employees? The ones working around the clock to keep up with Tesla's demands?
Well, Eli has thoughts on that too. More training, more support from headquarters, and a bigger emphasis on employee well-being.
So investing in the people, making them feel valued.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creating a sustainable work environment, not just sustainable cars.
I like it.
Yeah.
But there's one idea that really stood out to me. The one sparked by Carla's story.
Yes. The financing program.
This is where it gets real.
This is where Eli's empathy really comes through.
So what's he thinking?
He pictures a system that teams up with credit unions,
Okay.
utilizes state incentives to make Tesla ownership possible for lower-income families.
So not just a discount or a special offer,
No,
but a completely new approach to car financing.
Exactly. It's acknowledging that sustainable transportation shouldn't just be for the wealthy. It's about removing financial obstacles and making electric vehicles a real possibility for everyone.
Okay, so Eli's got all these game-changing ideas swirling around, but how does he go from undercover agent to actually making a difference?
Well, this is where things take a dramatic turn.
Oh.
Armed with his first-hand insights and a renewed sense of purpose, Eli drops the disguise and steps back into his role as Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla.
All right, so he calls a board meeting.
He does.
But this time, it's not about profits or production targets.
No, this is different.
Can he convince a boardroom full of spreadsheets to get on board with this radical new direction?
Well, according to what we've gathered, this board meeting is a pivotal moment.
Okay.
Musk walks in, not with a slick presentation, but with that same notepad full of scribbles and underlines.
Ditching the PowerPoint for a handwritten manifesto.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
He's not presenting data or projections.
Right.
He's sharing stories,
Oh, wow.
emphasizing the human impact of Tesla's choices.
So he's channeling his inner Eli.
Precisely.
Yeah.
He talks about Carla, the elderly couple, the frustrated technician.
Yeah.
He's connecting the dots between individual experiences and the company's overarching mission.
Okay, so Musk pacing the boardroom,
Yeah.
getting more and more passionate as he lays out this bold vision. But did it work?
Well, there's initial skepticism, of course.
Right.
Some pushback from the more financially minded board members.
Understandably.
They're used to seeing things in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
And Musk is talking about emotions, legacies, making a real difference in people's lives.
It must have been a tough sell.
It was. But remember, Musk is not just some idealistic dreamer.
Sure.
He's a master persuader, a visionary who knows how to rally people around a cause.
Yeah.
And in this meeting, he delivers a line that really captures his transformed perspective. He says, This isn't about profits or stock prices. It's about our legacy. If we're serious about leading the world into a sustainable future, we can't leave anyone behind.
Wow, that's powerful. So did it work?
From what we've pieced together, it was a turning point.
Good.
The board maybe for the first time saw Tesla not just as a company, but as a movement, a force for change that could reshape the world.
So what happens next? Does Musk just waltz back into the dealership like a conquering hero, unveiling his grand plan?
Well, not quite. He returns to Tesla Irvine, but this time it's not about gathering information.
What is it about then?
It's about accountability, closing the loop, showing the people who inspired this transformation that he heard them.
So he goes back to Tesla Irvine. Does he walk in as Elon Musk CEO or try to slip back into the Eli Matson role?
No need for disguises this time.
Yeah.
He walks in as himself, the visionary leader, but with a newfound humility, a recognition that true leadership is about listening, learning, and adapting.
So he gathers the team, all the people who shared their frustrations and hopes, and he tells them everything.
Exactly. He tells them about his undercover mission, what he learned, and the changes he's committed to making. He talks directly to Carla, promises to help her get into a Tesla, and acknowledges that her struggle was the catalyst for this whole shift.
That's got to be a pretty powerful moment, going from anonymous observer to CEO who's personally invested in making things right.
It is. And it reminds us that even the most powerful people, the most innovative companies, can benefit from a dose of humility, from stepping outside their bubble and experiencing the world through the eyes of the people they aim to serve.
So what does it all mean? What's the takeaway from this undercover adventure? Did Tesla suddenly become this perfect company that solved all the world's problems? No, of course not.
Right.
It's not a fairy tale ending. It's more of a turning point, like a realization that true success isn't just about, creating amazing products. It's about building a better future for everyone. And that means empathy, accessibility, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
And that's what makes this story so compelling. It reminds us that even the most innovative companies, the ones pushing the boundaries of what's possible, can still make missteps.
Yeah.
They can lose sight of what really matters, but it also shows that there's power in listening, in empathy, and in having the courage to change direction when you need to.
It's pretty inspiring to think that someone like Elon Musk at the top of his game can still learn and grow from simply listening to others. Makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder what would happen if more leaders in all sorts of industries took the time to really understand their customers and employees. What if they went beyond the data and the reports and actually experienced things from a different point of view?
Like, imagine if the CEO of a big bank spent a week working as a teller.
Yeah.
Or the head of a social media company actually trying to use their own platform as a regular person.
What insights would they gain?
Yeah.
What changes might they make?
The possibilities are really interesting. It's not just about gathering information. It's about building empathy, breaking down those walls between the people making decisions and the people who are affected by those decisions.
And maybe it's about rediscovering that sense of purpose, that drive to make a real difference in the world.
Yeah, which can get lost sometimes in the pursuit of, bigger profits and faster growth.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's not just about building successful companies. It's about building a better future.
Right.
One that's more sustainable, more equitable, more focused on people. Definitely. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. It's a reminder that even the most forward-thinking companies can benefit from taking a step back, listening to the people they serve, and having the courage to change course.
Well, there you have it. Elon Musk, undercover boss, shaking things up at Tesla. What a ride.
It really is a fascinating story. But before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with one final thought.
If you had the chance to go undercover in your own company or industry, what would you hope to learn? What changes would you be inspired to make? Keep those deep thoughts churning, and join us next time as we dive into another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious.